breathe it, love it. All sports, double coverage.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. We hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom, and I'm with the great man Sauce. How you going?
Good, Doma. I'm well. Yourself, you're good out there, having a good day.
I'm always, I'm always good, mate. You know, just sleeping nice and tight at night in my cozy bed. It's been absolutely freezing here in Melbourne, Australia. It's been just crazy at night. Um, but just we'll take a quick moment, mate, because there's a bit of a different aura to you this week. Now, some big news during the week, and you know, we found out that the great man has got engaged. So congratulations on that. Very well done.
Thank you very
You've made the
much.
missus very happy, I think, by making that decision. So congratulations on that. But also the aura. I've just seen this aura about you, this glow, this non-PSA bashing glow about you now. So you're never going to bag PSA again. That's what it seems like to me, which is great. So
That's most definitely a false aura that your vibe that you're getting there, because I can tell you right now that the PSA and grading company bashing will continue until we get proper customer service, which is what we deserve as collectors.
fair enough. All right, very nice. So some big news there. So well done. And let's move on. Let's get straight into it. We're going to start with the NBA. And first and foremost, ladies and gents, I don't know if you're feeling the same thing that Saucy and I are feeling about the NBA at the moment, but it's just as comparable to the card market for NBA. It has been so lackluster in the last month. Honestly, like I know, like Curry dominating gave some excitement. It has been so boring. It has been boring.
Yeah, people calling it a bit
Simple.
of NBA fatigue. Obviously, not really much of a
Boring.
layoff. Seasons rolling into one another. Look, I think we need the playoffs. We need the play-ins
Yeah,
to
100%.
come as soon as they can, because that's going to generate the interest, and hopefully we see a bit of an uptick in the market. But let's see how's
We'll
things been rolling on.
we'll see.
Domo,
So,
run us through.
as you know, when it comes very bare with skeletons really to talk about in something. You know, we scratch for the surface sauce, and I bet we found a couple of things we will talk about. But let's get into the standings. Brooklyn now commanding game and a half lead over Philly in the first position in the East. Philly second, Milwaukee third. The Knickerbockers in fourth. Atlanta in fifth. Trae Young injury may hurt them in that position. Boston in sixth. Miami in seventh, Charlotte in eighth, Indiana in ninth, Washington in 10th, who have been balling, Chicago in 11th, Toronto 12th, Cleveland 13th, Detroit 14th, and Orlando in 15th. And then over in the West, Utah on top, Phoenix second, Clippers third, only 2 games behind first spot and 1 game behind the Phoenix Suns. So the Clippers have been playing some great basketball. Denver Nuggets in fourth, the Lakers in fifth, Dallas in sixth, Portland in seventh, Memphis in eighth, Spurs in ninth, Golden State in 10th, the Pelicans in 11th, Sacramento 12th, Oklahoma 13th, and then Minnesota and the Rockets. And obviously, we saw during the week that John Wall is hurt again, and he will miss the remainder of the season. So you can't catch a trick at the moment, John Wall. But Sauce, first couple things. I know from I think about podcast 4 onwards, this man was still playing for the Houston Rockets with the greatest left-handed defender, offensive scorer in the history of the game, Harden. But he's gone over to the Wizards, and they have gone on this stretch of games, and he has dominated. And in turn, his buddy over there, his teammate, is also dominant. And the Wizards are currently they were on an 8 game win streak, and they've lost. But they've got themselves back into the position where they're in the plane. They were done. So the person that we're talking about is, of course, Russell Westbrook.
You're
He's
going to give him
actually
that honor
been
today, are you,
Westbrook.
Doma?
So
Call him
yeah, he's
Brook.
been good. I can't give him. I can't fault him, mate. He's been very good. Triple doubles, but he's been playing hard-nosed basketball, which, let's be honest, that is Westbrook. That's been his career in a nutshell. He's always gone 100 million miles an hour on the court. He leaves nothing on there every time he steps on it. So I just want to know, what do you think? Do you think they can actually get that spot? Are they good enough? I think Beal, they got some firepower there. So
I
do you
think they're
think they're
good enough.
better than?
I do think they're good enough to get that spot. I mean, look, who are they versing in the play-in there? You got Miami, Charlotte, Indiana, and then the Wizards. More than possible to because I believe it's 7th through 10th goes in the play-in.
7 through 10. Yeah,
And look, it's the NBA. At the end of the day, it's more than possible that they are able to get the job done. But look, it doesn't really matter because look, in all honesty, out of all those teams, Miami's the team that I want to see in there because they were able to make some noise last season and they've got that same core group back. And the other teams that are there really aren't going to do much. If Indiana makes it in, if they do, they've got a lot of injuries at the moment. They're missing a few guys. So it's going to be tough for them. Wizards are flying back, but, maybe they're using all their juice too early to just get into contention, and then they get there and they fizzle out. So it will be an interesting watch. I like the idea of the play-in. I think it's something a bit different. Obviously, the NBA always looking to try different methods to generate more interest in what goes down at the end of the season. That may be. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Credit to Russell Westbrook once again. As much as I've bagged him on this show, and I'll continue to bag him because it ends up, I end up being truthfully correct what I say. But he has played well. And
credit where credit's due. Yeah,
that's the level that we expect from him. Let's be honest, because we've seen what he can do. So yeah, hopefully for the Wizards franchise they can keep that up because once again they've been another team that's been allergic to the playoffs for so long. So it will be exciting for their fans if they're able to sneak into that 8th spot.
beautifully said. The other person I think we should touch on, yeah, because he's been playing fantastic. Um, Michael Porter Jr. He's averaging about 25, 6, and 5 over the last month. He's been very good. He stepped in for obviously the injured Jamal Murray, and he's playing his role. Now, people getting ahead of themselves as they do in the NBA media world. You know what it's like, Sauce. He's going to fill the void and they can still win the title. They're not winning the title. But besides the point, it's just the more of a coming of age moment
I
for
mean, his
Michael
last
Porter
three
Jr.
games is 26 points, 39 points, 31 points, which is pretty good.
Yeah, he's been very
Pretty
good.
good.
He's been fantastic,
Shooting
mate.
50% from 3 over
Yeah,
those 3 games.
he's been great. He's been absolutely awesome. But the thing is, it's more coming of age, like moment for him, as a defining moment for him as a basketball player. He showed obviously great, great glimpses of offensive talent during the bubble last season. Obviously, we found his biggest flaw, which was of course his defense. It was
Definitely
non-existent
gets
at
found out in
times.
the playoffs defense,
Yeah,
or
correct.
lack
But
thereof.
he's improved that sort of, not dramatically. He's not a great defender, but he's improved on that aspect. And obviously with Aaron Gordon there as well, they've got another guy now that can score, which is what Murray was before he went down. So it'll be interesting to see this dynamic when it goes into the playoffs. But do you think they can win it? That's what I got to ask you. People saying they can win it all.
No, they can't. No, they can't win.
Well, they're not going to beat the team that comes out of the East.
Well, do you want me to give false hope to these Denver fans? Like every pundit out there, MPJ can step up and that you ain't winning. Look, sorry, you've added new pieces. Takes time to gel to get that chemistry. You've lost your second best player. Let's be honest. And when you lose that scoring, you're gonna have to pick up that scoring from somewhere else. And yeah, MPJ's been able to do it, but then that's also left a spot where he used to fill before Jamal Murray got injured, which was being that third guy. So now someone else has to step into that third guy spot. And who's it going to be? Aaron Gordon's going to be a guy that you're going to rely on. You're going to struggle, So I don't think that's he is a viable third guy. I mean, there are a few other lads on that team that can step up, but I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. I
Yeah,
like the team dynamic when they added Gordon, and and that was working with obviously Jamal in the team. But with Jamal out, I just don't think it's possible for them to win, because we've seen what an impact and what a big playoff player he is. Like last season, just look no further how well he steps up and plays in the playoffs.
100%.
He was big in those series, so they're going to miss him immensely. But I think they can get past the first round. I'm not going to say that they're going to sit here, and they may not. Depending.
You bloody hope not. They're playing you.
Oh well, no, they definitely can't get past us. We're going to beat them. We're gonna smash them. If they're not versing the Lakers, then maybe they can get past the first round. If they're versing the Lakers, no chance.
If they played Dallas, I would say yes, they could.
So
easily. But at the moment they're playing you. So
oh well,
it's gonna. I'll
look,
tell
Dom,
you what.
you know what I'm going to say about that. There's
you know what's funny. The top 4 teams there in the West, due to the Lakers obviously finishing 5th, if they do finish 5th, they're going to be some of the hardest matchups on that side of the draw. They're going to be beating teams and going, oh, we're going to play the Lakers next. Oh, we're going to play the Lakers next. If they win, that is, like if they win that series, which I'm expecting them to. The Kings coming back next week, so massive news for Lakers fans out there. So
AD played a game.
He played
2
a
days
game.
ago.
You've won one, lost one with him back. I'm pretty sure. So that's okay. He's got to just get back into the groove of things. They've got enough time. They got 12 games to get back into the groove of things. 12 games is more than the Brooklyn starting threes played together all season. So that's the funny thing about it. So we will cover LeBron and AD next week when LeBron does come back. At the moment, it's just an easing in process for Davis, and Lakers are obviously trying
notched
to
up
keep
31 minutes, 18 points.
Yeah.
So just getting
right.
back to form.
Yeah.
2 blocks.
Just casually doing his thing, the brow.
We did beat Magic, who suck, so I won't get too hyped up.
That is also correct. So that's it for the NBA. You make something out of nothing, as they say, Source, sometimes. And that's what the NBA is actually giving us at the moment. All right, let's move on. The AFL, Round 6 review. We'll start off with Friday night's game. We had GWS versus the Western Bulldogs, which is always fireworks when these two teams play against each other. But the Dogs were just too good.
The Doggies are howling at the moment, aren't they, Doma? They are flying, absolutely flying along. They are looking class. Tuned in on that game on Friday night, and they were just too good. Around the contests, spread from the contests, and then up forward. That man, Aaron Norton, he's going to be an absolute star. 22 years old. 22 years old, Doma. Can you believe that? And the way he just leaps and marks the ball. He's good at kicking for goal. He's got a nice action. Very impressed with that young man.
His comp has been Carey, is what they've always said about that kid. His comp is Wayne Carey.
He's got strong hands. Strong hands, which is what you need as a forward.
I tell you what, if he becomes half or 3/4 of what Wayne Carey was, I tell you what, they've got themselves a good bloody forward in Aaron Norton. So they flogged them. They beat them 104-65. They're just too good. They're just a well-oiled machine at the moment, the Doggies. Very well-oiled machine. The next up on Saturday, mate, we went down to GMHBA Stadium in Geelong. And I tell you what, I don't know if you did it, Sauce, I definitely did. I had to look 5-6 times. I couldn't believe what my eyes were seeing. I could not believe the West Coast Eagles, who we said is one of the 4 teams that can win the flag here, just traveling to Geelong, 10-goal third quarter against them, and they get absolutely drubbed, 136-39, a 97-point loss, and they could make no adjustment during this game, and the Cats just decimated them. You were shocked. I can just imagine how shocked you were. Just West Coast, mate. We're just like, what's going on?
Oh, look, I was shocked in the score discrepancy, but I wasn't shocked in the way that, you know, that's what we've seen from Geelong in the past when people have to go down to when teams have to go down to Geelong and face them down there. They can tear you apart, literally. They know that ground so well
Yeah.
that they can tear you apart. But on the flip side, West Coast, in the form that they're in at the moment, you can't say comfortably that they're going to be able to contend, especially if they don't, finish top four. And they got to travel interstate for finals and the like. That's going to make it even more difficult for them because obviously we've seen how well they travel. Nearly got done by 100 points. So that's not going to bed well for them come the end of the season. And look, credit to Geelong for that comeback. Obviously, after the week prior, where they didn't play their best footy.
No, they've been pretty average the last few weeks. Obviously, even that they did play North Melbourne, which are the bye, and will continue to be the bye for the 2021 season. But it wasn't convincing. Everyone expected, they'll smash them. And then the week before, I forget who they played the week before, but it was kind of like, was it Hawthorn maybe the week before? And it was a bit touch and go. You know what I mean? They got lucky to get away with that win. And everyone was like, are they the real deal or are they pretenders? And I think they just came out and just tried to shut everyone up. They had Jeremy Cameron obviously debut for them on Saturday, and he played really well. That dynamic of him and Hawkins up forward is going to be very, very, very tough to stop. Once they get more games into them together in that forward line, it's going to be hard. All right, your boys, the Swans, mate. The young kids have hit the wall a bit. They got beaten by 40 points, the Gold Coast Suns. I think it's just they've hit the wall. They'll bounce back. They'll be all right. The Budweiser will come back. He'll save them. Let's move on. Carlton, Brisbane. No comment. If you're a Blues fan, I still always remember that poster source. You know, that season they had their promo, the Blues, we're coming. I'll tell you what, you're going to be waiting for a very long time because you're no good. You're no good. Big news out of that, obviously, Lockie Neal had surgery on his ankle. He's going to miss an extended period of time. So it's a big loss for the Brisbane Lions. Now, what was touted to be the game of the round actually ended up becoming a bit of a fizzler on Saturday night, and that was the D's versus the Tigers. The Demons looked very, very good, running away with a 34-point victory over the Tigs at the G. Big news out of that is Grimes hurt. Oh no, not Grimes. Sorry, Lambert hurt, and Dustin Martin out with a concussion, and with the new AFL protocol, has to miss the next 12 days. So if there's any games within the next 12 days, he cannot play them. And Source, they've got your Howling Dogs on Friday night. No Lambert, no Martin. It's going to be a big ask.
It's going to be a big, massive ask. And, let's look. The Tigers, I'm not stressing yet. If I'm a Tigers fan, I'm not stressing because your team can pull it together and you've got the players there. But there's a few guys there who aren't really pulling their weight. One man up forward by the name of Tom Lynch is not doing a hell of a lot. But you aren't helping yourself in and around the contest as well, where you've been renowned for losing clearances and that over the last few years, and you haven't rectified it, but you've still found a way to win. I think it's maybe something that you need to start looking to improve on. But enough on the Tigers. Let's talk about the D's, right? Let's talk about the Melbourne Demons, a 6-0. Best start to a season for 50 something years or whatever, 50 or so years they've had. Best start to the season. This is the team that I picked to go under 10.5 wins. So anyone who took that out there, under 10.5 wins, I truly apologise. I didn't think the Demons would actually come out and do something. But that's shoot that one in the backside. They're coming along nicely. Christian Petrarca on the weekend. I got to say, Christian Petrarca would have to be up there with leading vote getters in the Brownlow medal going through 6 rounds. He's absolutely flying. 38 disposals. Banged a sausage, kicked a goal. Uh, 133 Supercoach points. Thank you very much. But you don't get better than Christian Salem. 167 on the Supercoach points.
Oh, mate, he was just eating and gobbling up
39
the ball,
posies.
mate.
39
I
posies.
thought he did an IV
Seven
drip
marks.
sauce.
Unbelievable stuff.
Listening.
But the D's, credit to them. They're playing a great brand of football. They're strong around the contest. They've got the best ruckman, or one of the top two ruckmans in the league, in Maxi Gorn, who's absolutely flying along. And their midfield is looking solid. And it's funny. They struggled to kick a score last year, Melbourne. They struggled to kick scores, right? They recruited Big Benny Brown from your boys, Doma, to help him in that
Yeah, yeah.
asset, or that facet of the game. He hasn't played a game. They won 6-0, and they're flying.
Yeah, and Sammy Wiedemann as well, another great forward, young talent that they've got, prospect over there at the Demons, hasn't played a game. They got Harms injured, so he'll come back eventually, but that's depth. It's what we keep saying. If you have depth as a team, you can be very good. But I'm skeptical, so I won't read into it because we've seen it before.
But some of the teams that they've beat, Doma, so they have beat
They've
good
been
teams,
some
so they
great
can
teams.
match it with the best of them.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, 100%.
they could have won by more. They had 22 scoring shots to 18, so it's not like they didn't find the sticks. And they got lucky by Richmond keeping them in the game. Richmond kicked 12 behinds, but they clearly outplayed them. You got to give them credit, and they've had a couple of solid wins. So they've beat up on a
They have.
couple of
I'll
average
give them.
sides, but they've had two wins that have been very, very good. So look, watch this space, watch the D's. I did say last week, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Let's see if they can
Right.
keep this consistency going forward. There is going to be a point in this season where they have a bit of a lull, where they maybe lose a string of games, because it's not going to be all sunshines and roses the whole season. And let's see how they bounce back and come out of that, because that's where I'm interested to see what happens.
Yeah, 100% completely agree. And we will see what happens, but they have had some great wins. So credit where credit is due. So well done to the Melbourne Football Club. Next up, we had game of the round, which was Fremantle versus North. My boys, we got slapped by 51, so we'll move on. Nothing to see there. The actual game of the round was Hawthorn versus Adelaide in Tasmania on Sunday, where the Hawks won 102 to 99.
Told you they got a good record
Good,
down there, Doma.
yeah, good tip by you, Saucy. I went the underdog in Adelaide, and I fell on my face.
They
But
gave
it
up
was a
10
great
goals in a
game. That's
row
what
at
we
one
want.
point, didn't they?
Pardon?
They gave up 10 goals in a row at that one point, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They did. But all in all, fantastic game. It had it all: the highs, the lows, and the sausages. So that's what we like to see in footy. Then we had. I'll finish on that game, but we had Port Adelaide versus St Kilda, and we're not going to sit on this game too long because St Kilda are an absolute rabble. Saul said it last week, and nothing's changed. They are putrid. They've gone backwards. We thought they were going forwards, but they've actually taken 3 steps backwards, which is sad for their football club. And then the last game, which is next to the grand final source, as a sorry, not the grand final and the finals. We'll take the finals, but as a regular season game, if you're watching an AFL fixture, the regular season, the biggest game on the calendar is on the 25th of April every year, and that is Anzac Day. All right, where we remember the fallen heroes, veterans that fought for our country during the war. And the original two teams that used to host this game were Collingwood and Essendon. So they came together again to play off in this fantastic game, one of the most memorable games that we have, and the best game, in my opinion, regular season game. Not my two favourite teams, but you know what? They do a great job of it. But Sauce, I don't know what's more damning after watching this game. The fact that Darcy Parish just walked around as if he was in a supermarket, mate, just picking out fruit. That's how easily he was getting the ball. Or the fact of how bad Collingwood is. Like, you step up in these games, and I'll give you credit there. You actually do. All right, you come and play footy. So respect to the Essendon Football Club at the moment. But I think the big picture here is Collingwood is in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble.
What's the bet Nathan Buckley will be gone by the end of the season?
Well, you know what? Funny enough that you bring that up. I've actually had a discussion with family members and other people, mates and stuff about this, and they actually said, "What's the bet he's going to be?" Exactly that. What's the bet he's going to be gone by the end of the season? Now, Nathan Buckley, all right, I know he's got a lot of pride and stuff, and I understand he probably wants to see out the season. My prediction is he won't be there by the end of the season. He'll be gone. They're not getting any better. This team is putrid. They are putrid. So I don't see it getting any better for this football club. So you know what's best? Just leave now, Bucks, because you are going to be gone at the end of the season. So just fall on your sword, mate. Just walk out there. And if the club doesn't get any better for the remainder of the season, well, part of it isn't you as the problem. There could be other issues underlying within the football club that need to be addressed. But if you can get someone else in there, probably the players will want to play for another coach. I don't know, fresh coaching style, fresh environment. But I don't see him. Benny says Barkley won't get sacked. Collingwood will spin it as a non-renewal. But I don't think so, mate. He's gone. You can't say it's non-renewed. He's just not good enough. He's not even going to make the end of the season regardless. So we're 6 games in and all the pressure is on the Collingwood Football Club. The next to Richmond, and West Coast as a supporter base, but if we have to say overall, the biggest club is Collingwood in our league.
Yeah.
And they have all the pressure on them at the moment. All the pressure.
Don't worry, mate. We won our grand final, and that was against them. So that's. Look, I'm just going to take that small win for the Dons.
That's good, man.
I said that's our grand final because we ain't making finals. We ain't really doing much this year. We are building for the future. So I'll take that. Darcy Parish was elite, and Tip and Woody was outstanding.
It was very good, Tip and Woody. All right, let's get on to next week and get our tips. Richmond Bulldogs on Friday night.
Doggies.
Yeah, I'm going Dogs as well, mate. Oh, here we go. Collingwood Gold Coast.
Up at Metricon.
Nah, it's here.
Oh, that's a tough game. That's a very tough game. I think Jordan Goey brought me back, so I'm going to go to the Pies. Back him into
You're going the Pies.
to
I'm
bounce
going
back this
Gold
week.
Coast. I want the upset because I want more heat on that club. Adelaide GWS in Adelaide.
Adelaide.
I am also going Adelaide. I like them. I like their kids. They're good players. Saints Hawthorn. Etihad. Marvel. Sorry. Apologies.
Oh, this is the type of game where the Saints bounce back against a team that's a bit, around there.
That's all
Hawks
right.
have had
I
a big
see the
win.
same thing.
I'm going to go the Saints. I'm picking them with absolutely no confidence, Dom. I'm telling you that right
Yeah,
now.
I'm also picking the Saints, the same as you, zero confidence. And then we got Brisbane versus Port Adelaide, big game this week.
I'm going to go Port.
I'm also going Port, Sydney Geelong in Sydney.
I'm going to go the Cats.
I'm also going the Cats in that. Well, North Melbourne versus Melbourne. I'm tipping the D's. That's not hard.
Yep. No,
Essendon
Melbourne.
versus Carlton. Can you slay another big club?
I'm backing us in 2 weeks in a row, Doma.
I'm also backing you
Come
in.
on.
I reckon, mate, it could be the end of Carlton as well at the end of this round if you beat them. West Coast Freo, the derby.
I'm going to go to the Coasters. Last time when they got beat by St Kilda, they bounced back the week later.
They slapped them.
They slapped that team, so I reckon they're going to have a response this week.
Completely agree. Let's get to the ladder quickly. On top are the Doggies. D's in second, Port third, Cats fourth, Sydney fifth, Freo sixth, seventh is the Tigers, Brisbane eighth, Adelaide ninth, West Coast 10th, the Suns are 11th, Essendon 12th, Carlton 13th, 14th is the Giants, 15th are the Hawks, Saints are 16th, the Pies are second last on 4 points, and the North Melbourne Football Club, my mob, copped just a lazy 667 points so far this season, dead last. So no good. All right, let's move on. Let's fly through this one. Formula One, Portuguese Grand Prix this week, 30th to the 3rd of May. Going to be interesting. I'm excited for this. It's going to be Hamilton versus Verstappen again. Obviously, they're 1-1 so far this season. They've shared a race each. And very excited to see what happens there. also announced was the sprint qualifying coming to 3 races this year, Source.
Explain it
So
to
that
us,
is a
Doma.
100. So it's a 100-kilometer qualifying race, and the finishing order in that race will set the grid for the main race on the Sunday. So that'll happen on the Saturday, and then on the Sunday, wherever people finish in that race. So it's a sprint. So they literally race each other before the race instead of just getting lap times. So if Hamilton just gets out to the front, he can just set his 10-second lap speed, him and Hamilton, and that's who will be fighting for pole every week. But it'd be good if they implemented this season to get it all under wraps and get all the nitty gritty and stuff down pat. So then when we go into this season next year with equalisation and the cars are meant to be more competitive, if you're doing sprint races, we could get a lot of overtakes, and it could be quite exciting going into the 2022 season. So I'm happy they're trialing it. At the moment, with the car discrepancy at the top, it's going to be whatever. But as we've seen in the middle pack with McLaren, Ferrari, and even like that second Red Bull car, there's definitely a case to be made that it's going to be very competitive. So it'll be exciting at the same time. So that's it for F1's Portuguese Grand Prix this weekend. All right, we're actually getting through this quite well here, Source. We've got EPL up next. Some of the results: Chelsea versus Brighton 0-0, Spurs versus Southampton 2-1, Villa City won that 2-1, Leicester beat West Brom 3-0, Liverpool Newcastle 1-1. Did you see that result? Did you want to touch on that? The disallowed goal in the Newcastle game, and then they scored in the 95th minute anyway. That was quite funny. Poor Ant. He's probably watching this girl, listening to this, going, "These guys are idiots." Arsenal, Everton, you lost once again. You've just given up on the Gunners, which is fair enough. The season's almost
It's all
done.
about the Europa League for us, let's be honest.
100%. 100%. The big game that we said to watch out for was the Chelsea-West Ham game, as that was the fight for fourth. And Chelsea got the chocolates 1-0 there. Sheffield beat Brighton 1-0. Wolves were buried by Burnley 4-0. Leeds versus United, it was a 0-0 draw. Villa and West Brom drew 2-2. Leicester and Crystal Palace, Leicester got the win 2-1. So there you go. That's the games there. And then obviously this week we've got Southampton, Leicester, Palace City, Brighton, Leeds, Chelsea, Fulham, Everton, Villa, Newcastle, Arsenal, United, Liverpool, great game. Spurs, Sheffield, West Brom, Wolves, and Burnley versus. Sorry, I've just West Ham. We got a few games still left. There's a few catch-up games, obviously, and on the table, pretty much done. They'll win this week and they'll secure the title. Man City, United in second, Leicester 4 points clear of Chelsea in fourth, and then Chelsea obviously 3 points clear of West Ham, and West Ham is in trouble because Liverpool's up to 54 points, so they're chasing them. It's very close to Everton on 52 points with a game in hand as well. So if they win, they potentially will go up to sixth. So interesting stuff happening in the Premier League just to end off the season. And obviously, just to give notes to Saucy's boys, they jump from 9th and 10th every week, just to let you know you drop back down to 10th. So
Yeah, our only hope is to win the Europa League, to have any chance of Champions League football. But we don't really deserve it. Let's be honest.
well, speaking of Champions League football, over to you, mate. Bit of a quick rundown on what's happened this morning.
So obviously we've got the Champions League semi-finals where we're down to them. Um, we got this morning's game was Real Madrid versus Chelsea. It was 1-1. You had Christian Pulisic scoring in the 14th minute, and then Karim Benzema equalising in the 29th minute. Both goals coming in the first half. Ended 1-1 on the at the full-time whistle. That gives the Chelsea Football Club the advantage, as they've kicked an away goal. So if it does end 0-0 next week, they'll win and go through, but I highly doubt that will be the case. Then watched a bit of that game. It was solid. Real had chances to go ahead and take the lead and go in front into the second leg, 2-1, but they couldn't capitalise. And yeah, Chelsea was solid. N'Golo Kante won the man of the match. He was literally everywhere, all over the park, dominating as usual. And it should firm up to a solid second leg, Doma. That's for sure. Real has to come out and try to score. So this is going to be a fun one to watch. Obviously, Chelsea's got a lot of pace on the counter attack, so it's going to be a very, very fun watch. That leads us into tomorrow morning's game, which is Paris Saint-Germain versus Manchester City. This will be an absolute belter. I will probably most likely get up and watch this live. And just because of the absolute fixture that it is. Didn't watch this morning's game live, but did watch a bit of the highlights and the a bit of the second half and things of that nature. But this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. Obviously, we've got two young guns in there that are very sought after in the car market. Obviously, Phil Foden and Mbappe. So it will be interesting to see how they go. But my pick is going to be I just think PSG's just got too much power. I just think they got too much power. I believe in Mbappe so much. He's got the talent to just run right on a team. So look, it will be interesting, but I think this could be PSG's year, especially if they get past
Man
City,
City.
which
Yeah.
in my opinion, this is the final here. I think whichever team comes out of this side of the draw is going to win the final. So it's either PSG or City. So
Well, just remember last time City was in this position, Source, what Bayern Munich did to them.
yeah, they pantsed them.
So,
Yeah. So
so hopefully, I actually want to see PSG make the final. I want Mbappe to win a title, the Champions League. I reckon it'd be great. He's a great player, so deserving of a Champions League, and not for anything, Sauce. You start winning Champions Leagues and you start playing well, and he puts in a good performance at the World Cup. Ballon d'Or talks could be on the cards for this young fella towards the end of the year. And if he wins one of those, he's in a different realm of superstar within the
22,
sport,
23,
and he's
got all
that's
these
it.
accomplishments. It's going to get interesting talk, and it's going to be interesting chatter, especially among the football slash soccer card collectors who there's a big rivalry, whether you want to admit it or not, between Haaland and Mbappe. But I'm sitting team
That's
Mbappe at this point. Obviously, we know what Doma thinks about this. Doma's, it's all.
I love Haaland. I love Haaland, but I'm also Team Mbappe because, as I've said on Crunch Time, and I'll say it here now on double coverage, Haaland is the hype beast of the soccer card market. As simple as that. He's the hype beast. So, yeah, tread carefully when buying Haaland stuff. As Anthony Collects has said on the Crunch Time podcast, after this season, he's not going to be playing till the next Bundesliga season. He's got no international duties to tend to. His international team's dreadful. He's got no more Champions League, so he's going to not become irrelevant, but to the point where it's like all you're going to be seeing are guys like Foden and Mbappe in your face all the time over the next 3, 4 months, 5 months. You understand what I'm saying, Saucy? It's like these are the guys that are always going to be in your face. These guns, even Sancho, like guys like that, Bellingham, if they get selected, like these are the guys. They're going to be in your face the whole time. And Haaland, you're not going to see him until Bundesliga starts again. So I don't know. Be very, very careful how you tread with that. Obviously, these prices might go down or they might skyrocket. People might be thinking, oh, no one's talking Haaland, and they grab him, and then he scores a goal in his first Bundesliga game or Champions League game, and he just skyrockets again even more when he's done nothing in the meantime. So yeah, first leg's done and dusted after tomorrow, and then is the second leg's next week? I'm pretty sure they follow it back to back. So we'll cover the second leg on the podcast next week. Now, Sauce, before we get into what was one of the greatest UFC cards, NFL. The draft is this Friday, so tune in. Should be Trevor Lawrence going number one. Don't know what's happened over there with the pundits because they're saying Justin Fields is going to drop. All we knew was Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields going 1 and 2, and now they're talking about the other bloke that's going to go to San Francisco. I had his name, but I've actually just lost it before I was about to say it. The guy that's unathletic. See, I know a bit about him, but you know, it should be them two, 1 and 2, and then obviously the big tight end who's meant to be the best prospect in the whole entire draft, potentially falling to someone. It'd be a nice handy piece to add. So NFL draft this weekend, and stay tuned. Right, Sauce. Before we get into the freaking, obviously, Lamont of the week, you run us through this card over the weekend. It was fantastic.
UFC 261 was the card, Doma. And let me tell you, it was an absolute belter. There was some crazy, crazy stuff that went on, knockouts. How's this? The whole main card, the result, every single result on the main card was determined by a KO or a TKO. Nothing went to the judges. It was all determined by the fighters themselves. Every fight determined by KO, TKO. So I'll run you through the main card, and then we'll roll on from there. In the light heavyweight division, Anthony Smith defeated our countryman Jimmy Crute, was able to get the win. Jimmy Crute clearly upset after the win, but it was just, Anthony Smith was clinical. He was literally beating up Jimmy Crute, was busting up his face. Anthony Smith, as you can see, he's been putting in that work, and he even said after the fight that, he's 32 years old, but he's still out here getting better. And his jab, his left jab, his lead hand was unbelievable. It was just bouncing off Crute's nose and forehead, and you could see after the fight that Crute was severely, beat up. And then directly just before, it's probably about a minute before the end of the first round, he hit Crute with an absolutely lethal leg kick on the back of the knee. And there's a nerve on the back of the knee that if you hit it right, it actually, you can't feel your leg. And that's what happened to Jimmy Crute. Anthony Smith hit him with an absolutely perfect leg kick that it hit the nerve, and Jimmy Crute lost all feeling in his leg, which meant that his leg literally went to jelly. He tried to stand on it, and it just buckled underneath him. And he happened to make it to the end of the first round, and then he got reassessed at the end of the round, and the doctors called off the fight. So probably best for himself. Then the second card up on the main card was Uriah Hall versus Chris Weidman in the middleweight division. Look, this was just a freak. I don't know, accident, whatever
Accident,
you
yeah.
call. Anyone who hasn't seen it, I mean, I don't know, if you've got a strong stomach, then yeah, go watch the footage. But pretty much the first kick that Weidman threw in the whole fight, it was 17 seconds into the fight. Uriah Hall sort of just stood there, and Weidman's leg snapped in half, pretty much, around Uriah Hall's leg as he kicked him. He went to go stand back. It's something that it's you got to see it to believe it, what you're watching. But yeah, he went to go stand back, and let's just say the way his leg bent underneath him, it's not
Oh
supposed to do
no!
that.
Stop.
So it was pretty messed up.
Oh,
Uriah Hall got the win. Uriah Hall was very, very classy about it. And you know, what more can he do? He got the win. He'll probably see him in action very soon, as he didn't really have much of a fight. So he'll probably look to back it up shortly. Then we had into the women's bouts. The women flyweight, we had Valentina Shevchenko defeated Jessica Andrade. Called it Doma. Shevchenko is just a monster. Um,
she's great.
you know, she's confident in herself. She's unbelievable. She's got everything. She's got the ground game. She's got the stand up game, and she was clinical and was too good for her opponent. Then we had in the women's strawweight, we had Wei Li Jiang versus Doma. I'll let you.
Rose Namajunas.
Rose Namajunas absolutely well, was just class. You know,
She's also a great fighter, mate.
yeah, and anyone who's seen this was a great knockout. It was a kick to the side of the chin that just dropped Wei Li Zhang like a sack of spuds, and then the referee pretty much just called off the fight. After that was clinical, and then the main event, Doma, where yours truly here had utter
Just before
confidence.
you get into it, just get into a bit what some people were saying to you throughout the week. When you said last week Usman's winning it.
Yeah, and I was confident, and I just stood here. I was like, "Look, I love Masvidal, and he's a gangster, and he's a decent fighter, but he's not on the same level as Usman. He's just not." And people were, I said these comments, and people said, "Oh, he came off a 6 day break last time, and he went 5 rounds with him, and yeah." I was like, "Yeah, but since then, Usman's actually gotten better." So yeah, I understand Masvidal came off a short rest, short break, short call up, and was able to take it 5 rounds. But since then, Usman has gotten better as well. There was people trying to tell me that this is going to be the time that he falls. No, no, not having it. Usman is as good of a welterweight as there has been. I said, he's I said a bold statement, the best welterweight to do it. And, people are quick to obviously throw out GSP's name, which is, no disrespect to GSP. He was a gun. George St. Pierre, anyone who doesn't know who I'm talking about. But Usman's getting on that level. Usman is getting on that level that if, what's he, 5 total defenses now. GSP had 8 or 9. Well, he had 8, and then he had one where he fought for an interim belt. So that's like a ninth. If he lost that, he wouldn't have had the belt. So if he keeps defending his belt, and I just can't see anyone in that division who can now beat him. I'll be honest with you, Dom. I just don't.
There is one guy, but he got a bit exposed in their first fight. But in set up, they're definitely going to fight. His next fight is definitely going to be Colby Covington, 100%. There is no shadow of a doubt that is who he's going to fight next. It's going to be their second time that they fight. I still think it's going to turn out exactly the same as the first time they fought, and Usman's just going to knock him out again, or TKO him. But and the other thing as well, Masvidal's first time he's ever been knocked out in a fight, and Usman just the hit source, the power that everyone said he didn't have.
But he's proved it now 3 times. He's got the power.
He ain't snoozing anymore. Honestly, his last few fights, man, as you said, he's improved so much. He looks a different fighter. He's actually more exciting. He's like very exciting to watch. The way he just commands the octagon and controls the fight. And even if he gets hit, like you said last week, he's got an iron chin, mate. He can get hit for days, and he just whatever. All right, I can't do that because if I do that, then I'm going to get hit in the face, clean hits. All right, so I'll try a different way. And he just moves around and works
He's
it
got
out.
so many strings to his bow, and he uses them all. And this is the scary thing. He started as a wrestler and he was winning fights. Now he's upped his striking game. Well, his wrestling game hasn't gone anywhere. His ability to get people up against the fence and make it difficult for them hasn't gone anywhere. But he knows that he's got both those aspects in his bag that he can rely on when he needs them in every fight. So he's got multiple ways that he can break you down, and when fighters get to that level and they add all those things and put it all together, it makes it very, very difficult. Very difficult.
Yeah, 100%.
So obviously, I want to see another 3 title defenses from Usman that will take him to 8, and then let's see.
Different story after that.
Well, I just keep saying, he keeps defending that title, and and if he possibly gets to 10 defenses, you're gonna have to give him the credit where credit is due. There's so many people out there that hate Usman. They're just like, I hate him. I don't like the way he fights. Well, yeah, I didn't like the way he fought before, but he's adapted his game and he's become a lot more of an exciting fighter. And I just can't fault him. I just think he's so underrated, and people aren't giving him enough credit.
He's fantastic. Fantastic to watch. Uh, is there an upcoming card this week,
There is
Saucy?
an
We're
up and
going
coming
to need
card before we move on, which is UFC Fight Night Reyes versus Prochazaka. I don't even. I think I said that right. No, we'll run through the main card. Obviously, women flyweight. You have Polina Botello versus Luan Carolina. Then the bantamweight, you have Merab Dulashivli versus Cody Strauman. Middleweight division, Sean Strickland versus. This is really hard. We'll give it a
just
whirl
give
though.
just give the first name.
The first name is the hard part. Yerzitov Yotku. I reckon that's it. And the
We've got to make
light
a
heavyweight division, Ian Kutilaba versus Dustin Jacoby. And then we have featherweight division, Jija Jigadze versus Cub Swanson. You have a look at these names. That they get me every time. The light heavyweight division, the main event, Dominic Reyes versus Yuri Prozaka.
That's great. We need to make a supercut of you making your pronunciations of some of these fighters in the UFC, and then in return, you can just make my supercut of all the intros I've stuffed up on this show.
Oh my god. Some of these are
That's
really, really hard to say. I've just got
great.
no clue.
Oh, I love it. I love it, Saucy. Great work. Awesome card, as you said. And we look forward to the next big one. It was great to also have fans back in the stadium as well, which was awesome. And there was also someone else, bit of a stunt there, celebrity stunt with a so-and-so person at that event. And you know what? We're not going to read into it because he's a clown. All right, let's move on. Source. Lemon of the week. This got brought to my attention. He's probably still watching as well. Benny S in the comments. He sent me this reel. I tell you, Sauce, when I sent it to you, I was gobsmacked. I almost fell off my chair when I heard this. So I'll set the scene for you. Once again, for the Lemon of the week, we always got to set the scene. Relaxing, on my couch, minding my own business. Sauce. You know when you mind your own business and you're thinking, the Lemon of the week isn't even a thought yet because the podcast isn't upcoming. Yeah, you see some Lemon acts during the week, and you're like, yeah, it could be a candidate. Yeah, it could be a candidate. It wasn't even a thought in my brain. Get a notification on my phone. It lights up. I see it's Benny S. I open it up. I start watching this thing, Sauce. I was gobsmacked. I was infuriated at the same time, and I had to send it to you straight away. Bang, DM'd him straight to Source. Now, this guy could be one of the biggest. If you don't know what a Muppet is, it's an equivalent of calling someone a clown before we eventually go and call him a Lemon. So this guy is a definition of a Muppet. Now, he works alongside a Hall of Fame footballer who, can't fault him, loves the GOAT, LeBron.
Just
So I
before you
can't.
go any further, Don, we're gonna give it a definition of a Muppet from the Urban Dictionary: a person who is ignorant and generally has no idea about anything.
Well, perfectly said, because he's also going to be the Muppet of the week. So I'm watching this reel, goes for 30 seconds. It's 30 seconds of my life. Clearly, I can't get back because I had to listen to his verbal diarrhea for 30 seconds, talking the most ludicrous crap on this planet. You've probably worked it out by now if you're our American audience. It's going to Skip Bayless from the Undisputed podcast. Pretty sure he's on Undisputed. I could look like a Lamont. He's on the Undisputed podcast with Shannon Sharp, who, as I said,
Undisputed
we
show.
love.
It's a show. Then they put it in a
Sure.
podcast format.
It's on a podcast. But, we love Shannon, as we said. He loves the Bronx, so we love him. But he said, Source, I quote, James Harden is better than Steph Curry. And I was like, yeah, wouldn't have thought so this season. Curry's actually been pretty good, Like Harden's team's pretty stacked. Curry's isn't. He's carried him. But no. It wasn't this season, Source. I had to just progress with this reel for another 5 seconds, but then skip to say of all time. James Harden is not better than Stephen Curry all time. Are you an idiot? Like seriously, you must have lost your marbles. Like we've had some people take some crazy pills when they've been on the Lamont of the week. Just that week, they've taken some crazy pills. But he was legitimately telling me, telling us, telling you, source, because I sent it to you. I had to waste 30 seconds of your life as well
Yeah, I can't get
listening
it
to this.
back. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Skip. Tell us how. Tell Source and I and the double coverage family how. How? How? I, I'm just I don't know. I've been rattled. Two MVPs for Curry, one for Harden. That's fine. It's a regular season award. All NBA first team. Curry's been on 3. Harden's been on 6. Okay. All NBA teams. Curry 6. Harden 7. Scoring leader. Stephen Curry 1. 3 to Harden. Curry will get it again this year, so he'll be the 2. Assist leader. Curry's never won it. Harden's got 1. Steals leader. Curry's got 1. Harden hasn't got any because that's called, well, surprisingly, Curry's caught flack for being a poor defender, but he's won a, here I see he's actually won a defensive category, which is actually impressive. They're actually both not great defenders. Points per game, Harden's got 1.2 more rebounds, zero point 0.9 more, equal on assists, zero point 0.1 down on steals to Curry, blocks, zero point 0.3 down. They play no defense. Points, he's got 4,000 more. That's fine because it's all just stats in the end of the day. Yeah, Curry's obviously got 3 more titles than Harden. The field goal percentage is a good one. Stephen Curry shoots 47%, almost 48 for his career field goal percentage. Harden is 40, 44, and he jacks up a hell of a lot more shots than what Curry does. And the funny thing is, Curry's 3-point percentage is almost better than James Harden's field goal percentage, which is quite funny. He shoots 43.4 from 3, and Harden's field goal percentage is 44, which is ridiculous. His 3-point percentage is actually 36% for his career. He's got a better free throw percentage, even that, like, think about it, Harden goes to the line a lot more as well. Then you just got a whole bunch of just best seasons, this and that. Curry revolutionized the game of basketball. If it wasn't for Stephen Curry, Harden probably wouldn't even beat James Harden. Even I'm pretty sure they got drafted in the same year as well, if I'm not mistaken. So, source. Am I stupid to be saying that? Am I? I don't know. Am I? Is there people actually out there that believe this to be true?
Well, clearly, because old mate Skip Bayless
Well,
believes it's true.
clearly,
But look, I'm not going to sit here and have this argument. I'm just going to. We've seen where, James Harden has gone postseason. And albeit, obviously they want to say Steph got carried for 2 championships, which, arguably a little bit he did in when it got to playoffs, but regular season he was there to contribute. He did win one without KD being there. So it's tough. It's tough because when it's you can always throw that argument in there that Curry's got 3 championships and Harden's got 0, and that can always be a defining factor on this. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to sit here and be like, Skip is bananas for making that statement. Like I get sort of where he comes from, but I'm not going to say that Harden is better than Curry all time. Curry is better than Harden. Um, um,
last time I checked, when Harden was in the position Curry was when he had no team, no players, he left.
yeah,
Last time I checked,
yeah,
Harden got Chris Paul, probably should have won it. Harden gets Westbrook, capitulates. Harden goes to Brooklyn, Now he's in the same position as Curry. He's got Kevin Durant in his team and Kyrie Irving. And his roster is loaded. So if he doesn't win it this year, what's that say?
Well, time will tell, Doma. Time will tell.
Yeah, if he doesn't, that's why I said if. Well, he's not. They're not beating. They're not going to beat. They're not beating Philly or Milwaukee. Milwaukee, as I keep saying, they're just flying under the radar. So anyway, Sauce, can you give the honor, like, do the honors, mate? Because I tell you what, Skip Bayless, you are this week's very own double coverage family. Saucy.
Lemon. Lemon.
Thanks, Skip. Feel free to come on the podcast so we can just yell at each other for an hour. All right, let's move on. We're into hobby talk now. A time in this podcast where we just break down the hobby and what's been happening. And we're going to start where we like to start always, Source, and that is as the blockchain boys, as Joel 21 has titled this segment. So, blockchain boys this week. It's
It's a
some
small
nice
one.
stuff. It's a small one. It's still back onto the immaculate. We haven't got any more soccer. It hasn't been soccer for 2 weeks now. And if you want to just start running through
So
some
we
of
got
these cards.
Mike Piazza autograph. These are all one of ones, ladies and gents. The Albert Pujols patch auto. Kawhi patch. Nike patch 101. James Wiseman patch auto. Nike patch. Jalen Smith Nike patch auto. And then down below, they've got some
Cards
draft releases that they're going to be that go live in 2 days.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring, but there was a few others. You're on the. I know which part you're on.
Oh,
So
right. This is why. So you got to click view all.
Yeah, so there was an AD.
Oh, yes. I'm on it now.
AD 101.
Go for it.
Auto. Larry Fitzgerald 101 sticker auto. Then there's a Russell Wilson
Oh, that's
NFL
nice.
patch, and it's a Reebok patch.
I like that one.
Very nice. And then the last one is an
Jerry
RPA
Jeudy.
of Jerry Jeudy from the Broncos. But yes, Source. So those are the blockchain for this week, and there's 2 days left in that. But they've come out and said, Panini, that they're going to do a special NFT release for some of the draft, for the draft players in this Friday's draft. So obviously counting down towards that draft to release that product.
You can see it. I've got it up on the screen if you're following on YouTube, and they've got
I am now.
They've got these NFTs that have got the countdown on it, 2 days and 11 hours and so on. So it'll be interesting to see what they do, Doma.
Yeah, but this is the one thing that I know they've got blockchains and stuff like that. They've got that technology, but they're stepping into the NFT market a lot more, which is great for Panini. It's just a way that they're moving with the times, so which is fantastic. Might be able to find that. There he is, Mac Jones. That's the quarterback I was trying to think about. And Kyle Pitts is the bloody tight end. Jeez, Tom. So they're trying something new, which is great. The next thing, Source, which was massive this week, over at Golden Auctions. This is going to be our next run through. Sorry for the listeners. We're just going to have it up on the screen. But obviously, as you know, we always read this out to the listeners of the podcast. We had, and rightly so, Source, we can finally say, yeah, rightly so. It's worth that, and that should be the most expensive card in the hobby. Correct? We can finally say it. And that card was a 2003 Upper Deck Exquisite Collections rookie patch auto of LeBron James.
Number to 23.
Number to 23. And that was sold for just a lazy $5.2 million. So it eclipses the previous record of $4.6 million held by Luka the Don. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Great looking card. Great patch, by the way. Absolutely great patch. Now, there's another card that also set a record for football, and that is the 2000 playoff contenders. Card number 144, Tom Brady signed championship ticket rookie card. Uh, Numbered out of 100 source. This card's numbered out of 100. It's a BGS 8.5, sorry,
Yep.
and a BGS 10 on
Got
the
it up
order.
on screen for anyone watching. It's it's a nice card. Obviously, Brady
Nice
the
card.
GOAT.
1.7 mil. So that set a record there for
Unbelievable
the NFL.
stuff.
So just when we thought, source, that it was just going to start, declining, people said, "Oh, the interest isn't there. The interest isn't there." You know what I
They
mean?
had a PSA 10 Jordan that sold for 430,000.
That's significantly less.
86
Even
photo.
that even the Kobe there as well. Chrome refractor, 270. A Peachy Gretzky,
Yeah, but
250.
you can see that the Kobe here has actually got some it's got some greening in the you can see it's sort of greening a little
Yeah,
bit, which is always also deters people of the price. Um, if it wasn't greening, but this is the issue with some of those cards from that era. If they've seen too much light over time, the players green and they call it hulking, where the
yeah,
refractor on the shine it starts to green up a bit, and yeah, it just doesn't look nice. So I mean, it's still fetched $230,000, which is pretty crazy.
100%. And there's a lot of beautiful cards in here. There was a 98-99 Upper Deck Michael Jordan game jersey autographs. So Jordan signed
Ronaldo
game
Mega
jersey.
Cracks, 209
Yep,
thousand.
209 for that. Curry rookie, the top's chrome refractor version. Then this card here was very nice. Sauce. Lot 140, which was Upper Deck Exquisite Collection 0405, dual scripted swatches of Michael Jordan and LeBron James. So NBA All Star Game Use patch card, and that was a BGS 9. Very nice card, that one. There was a 0708 Exquisite Collection KD Rookie Patch Autograph Gold out of 35.
A lot of big
That
juices,
patch is sick.
massive.
That Sonic's patch looks mint. Clear stickers up there again. Um, have a look at that source. Tarzo. A Tarzo number to 5 went for bloody $100,000.
Tarzo.
Yeah, the soccer discs. Diego Armando Maradona. PSA 7, lot 48. Rookie card. We've lost our marbles, haven't we? Gonna start looking for rookie Tarzo source.
Oh, I've got them all. They're probably worth nothing.
And then, of course, O1 SP Authentic Golf, Authentic
Yeah, there's
Stars
some nice
autograph.
stuff, Doma.
Tiger.
Some real nice stuff.
There's some great stuff in here. Absolutely great stuff.
There's always look. There's quite a few exquisite. There's a 2005 here exquisite LeBron.
Oh, there's some great cards.
Number
There
to
was obviously
15 sold for 34,000.
it's funny how, yeah, like you got the Messi mega cracks in there too. PSA 9.
There you go. Anth will like seeing this one, mate. It's 2006 World Cup Ronaldo PSA 10 sold for 14,000, and the Messi sold for 13,500. So the Ronaldo sold for more. Bang!
Oh, I love it. Also, this um, I'm very interested on this one, source. Um, lot 25. It is a 1920 Panini Flawless Zion Williamson signed game used jersey advertising patch rookie. It's 1-on-1. Um, Final price passed. The lot closed. The bid was on for 50,000. Very interested on that card. The patch is actually nice. I know it's a promo patch, but it's got his auto on there. It's his rookie. It's a nice looking card, and that's just passed in.
It's one of
Didn't
one.
sell.
Interesting.
1-1. Very interesting. Very interesting on
It might go up in
Zion.
their next auction, which is for
Yeah.
cards $50,000 and over only.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's that's fair enough. Now, Trey Young, you wanted to touch on this source, his injury. You want to
Yes.
talk to some of these collectors in the hobby.
Well, we'll go into it. I'll log into my account here on Card Ladder. I've got this, still got the mini overlay. If you're following on YouTube, if not, I'll describe it to you if you're on the audio format. Um, Now, Trey Young, there's words that he's gonna be back. Obviously before playoffs next week. I looked up. So I was just looking for some opportunities to maybe there's a play here for Trey Young. Obviously, there's going to be some hype around Trey. Um, the Hawks, have been allergic to the playoffs for a number of years. So I think if they do get in, which looks as though they're going to, we could see a bit of a price increase in Trey Young. His prices have dropped a hell of a lot, whether that be with the hobby not liking him generally or what it may be. But he is definitely one of the up and coming young talents in the NBA. And I'll look at I'm going to look at here his PSA 10 optic hollow pop report 145. Now we have a look at his 1 year graph. This card just at the start of the year. This card at the start of the year was going for $1,800. It was a sale on the 18th of the first for $1,800. The latest sale on this card today is $787, which was on the 22nd, so 6 days ago. So you're getting more than 50% off. You're going to be at a 60% discount on what it was from then. And that's on the PSA 10. It's only got a pop report of 145. Now, if you go at the PSA 9, the PSA 9 at the start, similar time, the 18th of the 1st, there was a sale for 527. There was a sale on the 20th of the 1st for 620. You can now buy this card for $290 as a PSA 9. So it's about a 50% discount again, once again, just depending on your ability or income stream. I think this is definitely potentially a buy. So this is a saucy smoky before the smoky. This might even be the smoky because I didn't really have one up until this point, and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, well, I think Trey Young is the play. So I'd be going to have a look at Hawks. I did pick up some Cam Reddish way back, probably 6 weeks ago, but seems as though he's not going to be ready to come back and contribute for the rest of the season, from what I've read. And I wouldn't be counting on him to do much. So I think Trey Young and some the other guys on that Hawks roster may be the plays. But Trey Young in general is the play because his cards have fallen off so much, and we've seen some hype up of him earlier on in the season, where people thought he was gonna go on to have a very successful season, which he has. Like, he's had a
Yes.
pretty good season. You can't say that he hasn't. Like, the Hawks, albeit they fired their coach, but then they started playing well after that, and they're in the playoffs, which you can't really ask much more than that. That was the next step for this young side, was to go to the playoffs. So I think, Trey Young's injury, although I wouldn't worry too much, I think he's going to be back and playing and ready for the playoffs. I think there's a opportunity to buy here, and I'm going for the optic hollow. I'm not wasting my time with his prison base or anything. I mean, his peers, I believe. I'll just double check it right now. But his prison base PSA 10 is currently trending at last sold 330. Right, and that card was previously up around the $700 mark. So, I mean, if you want to go down that route and go for his prison base, but in all honesty, with a pop report of 9,000, I would rather spend $290, $300 to go buy a PSA 9 Optic Hollow that is a much rarer card than buying his PSA 10 Prison Base, which is 9,000. I mean, even the Optic Hollow has a pop report of only about 240. So, and the PSA 10 has a pop report of 145. So, I think it's the better play, personally. But it's up to you what you want to do. Punters out there. So, yeah.
I like it. So you mixed in the sausage smoky while we're talking about Trey Young. That's pretty much going to be the smoky. There hasn't been anything. We're going to get to that when we got there, but very nice sauce. You've given a nice tip to our family out there, and hopefully, obviously, they can find a nice deal for themselves. Now, RCG, Revolution Card Grading. They've launched. They're launched. They're out there. They're ready to go. They've got revolutionary slabs. So I'm going to read out a bit of this stuff. So the first of the market not only print directly onto slabs, but also use refractor and prism label inserts. This innovation will not only make the slabs more visually appealing, but it will also make them tamper-proof. They're saying they are tamper-proof. Now, these refractor slabs, 1 in 25 and 1 in 50, for the prism slab, are randomized inserts. All right. So when you sub, it's just a random chance you might get one of these slabs. So it's like a bit of a, you're slabbing, potentially get a sicker slab. So what they're saying is it's going to be a low pop variant of that card, if that makes sense.
So you're going to
You know
have
what I mean?
a Luca, whatever, prison base rookie, and it could potentially get a.
It'd be a pop one with RCG, yeah. But if it has one of those slabs, it'd be a pop one in that slab. So they've also said lightning fast turnaround group, passionate collectors who understand the value of accurately graded cards delivered back to you within the promised turnaround times. So that's good to know that they're a group of passionate collectors. Superior service. We have come together for the sole purpose to serve fellow collectors. Customer service is our top priority, and we promise to put you first. Low pop refractors and prism labels. We are the first in the market not only to print directly onto slabs, but also offer refractor and prism label inserts. There's card info on here on how to submit. Their pricing is $55 a card for a 10-day turnaround, $45 per card, which is called the Riot, and that's 20-day turnaround. The Uprising is the $35 a card option.
They do mention that they are grading rapidly advancing AI grading technology. Did you see
I
that
like
part?
it. No, that's gone straight past me. A few stats. They've got 1,500 sub spots this week, so they're doing the same method as a HGA. All right, so they've had 10,000 daily visitors. They've said on their website, and they've got 1,500 sub spots open this week. So, assuming they'd be
Should we
filled.
try? Should we give him a whirl, Doma? Should we give him a whirl?
Not just yet. Not just
Did
yet.
open the invitation to them to come on the show, so hopefully
I
they
think
do.
yeah,
They do
hopefully
step up. They had to reschedule. They were supposed to come on last week, so hopefully they do step up and come on this week. And if they do, if they confirm, we'll let the double coverage family know. Because if there's any questions that you want to pose to this new grading company popping up, I mean, by all means, go for it. Grading competition is good. We do probably need one more serious player in the market, in my opinion. But yeah, it's getting interesting because I said we've seen this one pop up, and then funny enough, Doma, I sent you another one yesterday. Another company. I'm not going to mention their name because I need to see how serious they are before I give them a shout. But it's getting interesting with these grading companies now coming about. Which ones are here for longevity and which ones are here for a cash grab. That's what we need to decide as collectors, because if you go with the one that's here for a cash grab, then your potential investment that you're sitting on, if you're looking at your card like that in that manner, then it's not going to have the same longevity going forward. Now, if you're looking at them as just a way to sort of grade your PC card and get it back, then it's maybe there's a place or it has some use. So it's interesting. They do say here for the collector, rapidly advancing AI technology, which is right at the top of their site on their slider, low pop, refractor, and prism labels. It's time to give more to collectors. And then revolutionary slab printing technology, which Dom mentioned on, which is supposed to be tamper proof. So
It'd be interesting, honestly, Source. It'd be so obviously it's tamper proof because they don't need to put a label in there. So it's just one piece of plastic that will seal the card in there, and the label is printed onto the plastic. So that's their differentiation point to the other grading companies. Now, hopefully, we get them on, and as Source said, you can send in your questions if you've got any. Obviously, we got some questions for them too, and we can find out a bit more about the Revolution card grading. So, RCG. All right. Just before we get into a main topic in this segment, uh, Tyson Beck. We've interviewed him before, Source. Clearly, because you were there. Double coverage families that listen to this podcast know that we've interviewed him. He's also very well. We'd like to consider him a good friend of ours. Uh, Lovely guy. Now, I'm telling you, Saucy summed it up perfectly. He goes, this guy has stepped up his game tremendously. So we're going to give him a plug here. He's got his Devonta Smith RC release just before the draft comes this Friday for the NFL. And I'm telling you, the cards look, it's just pure fire. Just pure fire. He's got cracked ice variant, rainbow variants, RPAs of game worn jerseys that Devonta wore in college. He's got the Slim Reaper RC Auto Neon UV, which is a black and white that changes color under UV light. He's got dual autos of him and Devonta. Go have a look. Cards are numbered to 50, 40, 39. I've seen. There's a couple numbered over 100. Go and have a look. We shared it on our story yesterday. We scrolled through and just some of the things, but you can go find all of these cards in your one-stop shop, which is shop.tysonbeck, tysonbeck.com. As soon as you get on there, there'll be a whole bunch of cards you can look at. And do yourself a favor and just spend the time just to scroll all the way to the bottom and just honestly, just enjoy some of these cards because they are quite nice, Source, quite nice. Something different. And he's really starting to push the boundaries, and we like that about Tyson. He's doing some great things in the hobby, and he's a great ambassador for it too. So well done to Tyson. Now, you're going to lead this one, Saucy. Wax prices, discrepancy. What's happening? What have you seen?
I'm just in the process of creating a Revolution grading account, mate. So bear with me a sec. I thought I might as well start an account and just go in there and see what happens. See how this goes down. Be interesting to see. So I wanted to mention Doma was something that I'm picking up on, right? It's got to do with wax prices when it comes to basketball and football. Now, interesting enough, comparing Prism basketball from 2018 to Prism football of 2020, right? Now, I'll just bring up some prices here before I ramble on a bit more. But I'll start off by saying you've got the biggest card. Let's just frame it around the biggest card. So the biggest card in obviously 2018 Prism basketball, or the main chase card is your Lucas. So you got your Luka base, Luka Doncic base Prism, and your silver, right? So your Prism base PSA 10 currently at this point in time, last sold is $1,000, right? Now your silver PSA 10 last sold is $6,500, right? So that's where that's sitting at this point in time. Now, the number one chase card essentially in Prism Football 2020 is Justin Herbert. So your Justin Herbert PSA 10 Prism base is going for about $850. So it's a little bit less than the Luka, about $150 less. And then your silver Justin Herbert Prism PSA 10 is going for $4,500 USD, and the Luka's going for $6,500. Now, there's not really that much discrepancy. Yeah, there's a bit of a discrepancy in the Prism silver price. There's probably about a $2,000 discrepancy, but in the Prism base price, there's only $150 discrepancy. But you go have a look at Prism Hobby, right? Hobby box. Now, a sealed hobby box from 2020 football, last sold, although it's been on the way up, right? You can see it. I can see it here on the charts, right? Last sold for $1,500, right? A last sold 2018 hobby box basketball. It sold for $5,200.
Jeez.
The discrepancy in the price between the cards and then the wax, it's massive. Now I understand you've got Trae Young in there as well. You're talking about the wax, but you've also got Burrow, right? And you go have a look at Tua, and you go have a look
and Love,
and you've got a whole bunch of guys, right? But if you go have a look at Burrow's prices, they're pretty similar to Trae Young. And Trae Young's fallen off a hell of a lot. We've had a look at his prices before. His Prism base is only gone for $330. That's about a similar price as to what Burrow's going for. So you have a look at the top two players and the price of their cards, and then you go have a look at how that's transitioning into the price of the wax. The 2018 wax is so much more expensive. A blaster box from 2018 Prism Basketball is $740 US last sold, right? Take that for a Prism Football 2020 blaster box. Last solds are gone for about $130 US.
Wow.
Now, the cards that are coming out and what people are paying for them, it doesn't make sense that the wax is this price. It doesn't make sense because what's the reason for the wax going up? Well, obviously, rarity in the being able to rip the wax, yeah, that's part of it as well. But also the cards and how much people are willing to pay for the cards that are inside. And when you got people willing to pay this much amount of money, and then the wax prices are such a discrepancy between the two, even though the cards themselves, there's not much discrepancy between the Prism basketball stuff from 2018, the Prism football stuff from 2020. And if you have a look at it, there's a guy in there that's very similar. Herbert won the Rookie of the Year. Luka won the Rookie of the Year leading into his second year season next season. Obviously, Luka leading into his second year, we've seen what he did. His team got to the playoffs and, they were able to win a playoff series. I'm not saying that Herbert's going to do that or anything of that nature, but I'm just saying, if people are paying $4,500 for a PSA 10 Prism Silver and then $6,500 for a PSA 10 Prism Silver Luka in the 2018 Prism Basketball, how is the box price $4,000 difference for a hobby box?
Pretty cool.
I don't know. When the discrepancy on the card is only $2,000, and then the discrepancy on the Prism on the base is only $150 between the Luka and the Herbert.
it could be just the fact of just the popularity of the player and then the sport in itself in basketball source compared to football in terms of in the hobby that
Yeah,
is.
I understand that. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. But also,
But still, that's unwarranted to have a price that much. You can practically pull the Luca and like raw. Yeah, obviously you've lost money. If you go grade it, you're going to make money on the box. But even if it like that's crazy. Your profit margin on a box if you get a graded Luca isn't like humongous compared to you get a silver Herbert.
exactly. That's where I'm coming from. So the discrepancy, like in my eyes, if I'm going to open a box, a hobby box at this point in time, well, I'm going to buy a 2020 football hobby box because it's better
100% you
value.
will.
It's much better value than paying $5,500 for a hobby box of Prism basketball.
It's true. You can buy four. Oh, sorry, you can buy three for the price of one and potentially get a Herbert and well multiple Herberts, and the Herberts graded will make you your money back plus profit,
Now,
and you'll get three cracks at it, and you might get an auto. You could get a Burrow auto or Tour auto or Herbert auto.
so
Works out pretty good.
yeah, it's just interesting. Now look, I think a lot of that discrepancy, as you said, you mentioned it, it's probably got to do with the popularity, but I just think that the the discrepancy, it's not warranted, and I'll just have a look at the 2018 football blaster boxes. They're going for about 300 USD. So I could see, I just can't see where you go wrong if you buy up some of that wax and store it, like I've been saying. And there's deals out there that you can find. And even just go have a look at like smaller things like the cello packs and things like that you can pick up for
Correct.
$30 and that, and you're able to sit on that $30. I just don't see where's the warranted discrepancy. Not I see where there is a discrepancy in terms of the basketball and football, as you said, Doma, but that much of a discrepancy between how much a box costs and then the cards inside, it doesn't make sense when the Luca box essentially is priced to factor in a Prism Silver Luca when you think about it, right?
Yeah,
Because it's 6,500 for
100%.
the PSA 10, and then the hobby box is
Correct.
5,500. But then on the flip side, the Herbert's only 4,500 for a PSA 10 Prism Silver, but the box is only 1,500 for a hobby box.
Correct.
So
It's interesting.
just an
I
interesting
think it's just.
thought. I know
I
something
think
that
it's
I'm
more
looking
to
at.
do. I think it's just that year. I think it's because it's Doncic's year. It's probably something probably to do more a look into for other products, maybe outside of 2018 that have got some good players in it potentially. And if it's the same thing, it could just be, as I said, but also Luke actually mentioned in the comments as well about NBA being the biggest sport in the hobby. More eyes on it. But football is the national game there, so who knows? I just think the Herbert, that's great value. You can pull a 4.5K Herbert PSA 10 out of a $1,500 box compared to and make 3K profit compared to a $1,500 profit on a Luca. But that's if you get the Luca Silver. Like at least I know you got Trey Young in there, but you got more options when you got Love, Tua, Burrow, and Herbert all in the one draft class in a $1,500 box. The odds of you hitting at least one, you potentially get your money back. Potentially. You may lose a little bit, or you pay 5K, you get a Trey Young, and you lose 4K in profit. So that's the difference. That's what we're playing with Source. Like, think about it that way too. Like, that's what people need to think about while you listen
Yeah, it's just risk versus
to
reward.
Source's
That's
take.
that's what
Yeah,
I'm
hundred
thinking.
percent. You take the risk, or do you have a crack and say, you know what, for 5K, I'm going to buy three of those boxes? Hey, you never know. Could get a multitude of those guys. A couple silvers. You could get silver autos in there too, and you'd be laughing.
Yeah, they
So
have been going up those football boxes, so I'd
yeah,
be
they're starting
I'd
to
be
go up.
I'd
So
be sitting on them. At the start of the year they were $1,000 box. Now they're already $1,500. So
slowly going
yeah,
up, slowly but surely, and rightfully so. And it's going to be expensive as well because the draft class this year, if they're any good, there's a whole lot of them. Could be very interesting to see the products for this year's draft class when they come out. All right, Sauce. Very nice. As Saucy said, uh, not financial advice, not saucy smoky advice in the hobby talk. It's just a little one that he gave. It was the unofficial saucy smoky, the Trey Young. It's cool. It's not saucy smoky financial advice. We just got to state that because obviously we haven't put our money where our mouths are with that card. So he was just saying it. But usually when it is a saucy smoky, Saucy has put his money where his mouth is. So that's why he's happy to give it in there. So no saucy smoky. As Saucy says, he's not going to waste people's time if he hasn't put his money into anything this week. So he'll report when he's got something quality to share with the audience. So Sauce, we're done very quickly, mind you, as well. So we've an hour 40, which is very quick for us. Usually it's 2 hours plus. So it's been awesome. Thanks to the people that did jump in the chat as well. Once again, we've got some big things, as we said, coming up. Stay tuned for tomorrow night. We're actually going to be jumping on with Matty Payne. So stay tuned for that podcast. Whether it's live or pre-recorded, we'll be dropping straight after we record it anyway. So just be wary of that. There's some important stuff coming out if you are an Australian hobby collector here down under. So, all right, on behalf of myself and that great man, Sauce, keep living, loving, and breathing all sports. It's double coverage and peace.
Peace out, ladies and gents. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, double curve.